motivation gives us energy. Energy drives us to do things. If we don't have a drive, we're not moving at all. Nothing is moving without energy. Humans don't have energy without any motivation to do things. Motivation is something so important that I had to give this topic a separate video. This is part 3 of my video series Can You Go Pro? If you haven't seen the first 2 parts yet, I highly recommend doing that right now. I already explained how to get started and how to find a team. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe to never miss a video again. I will be extremely happy to reach 100 subscribers by the end of May. For this video, I took my sweet time preparing it. This might sound like I intended to do it, but I literally lacked motivation. I didn't have the drive to write the script, produce the video, cut and upload it. You might be wondering where this is going, and I'm gonna tell you. You can transfer this concept literally to any activity that you intend to do. So let's talk about motivation in CSGO. The obvious question in mind is, what motivates you to even play CSGO? Why exactly CSGO? It could be any other competitive game. Is it because you enjoy the game? That can be so intense and nerve-wracking sometimes.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's knifed him and he's gotten away with the AWP. I'm starting to get nervous. There's no way. Katie, you can't win Pro League like this. You can't win Pro League like this. No way. Exile's left, 40 seconds and the bomb's on A. Take your time, son. You're about to make the play of your career. 30 seconds. Now, Axile's on ramp. He's got 30 seconds to think this one through. A knife kill? You can't. Cadian, he's thinking about ramp. Jumps
Saw him.
Exile gets the info. He just has to hit this shot, and he's done it for Heroic. The leader, calling well above his years, clearing corners. Oh, no! You're an animal! Heroic have done it!
Is it because of its community?
Yeah, there we go. They've done it.
It's absolutely beautiful.
I love this.
You guys deliver each and every year.
Is it because you look up to a certain talent and want to get there as well? You need to ask yourself, what is your driving factor in playing this game? Because if you would make it pro one day, you have to have this driving factor every single day when you open up the game, even on days you don't feel like playing. It might also be because you want to win a major, like basically every person that plays CS, but not many people achieve it. Why? Obviously, the skill level that is required to win a major is enormous, but the most important factor is motivation. No matter how good you are in the game, if you are not motivated enough over a long period of time and don't have the drive to achieve greatness of this kind, you are not going to win a major. I'm not saying that if you play every single day for the next 5 years and always be motivated that you're going to win a major. And also this would not be humanly possible anyways, because we couldn't stay constantly motivated for that long. Motivation is something that comes and goes. But motivation is definitely the biggest piece of the puzzle. It kind of goes hand in hand with your mindset. I also do apologize if my thoughts are all over this, but this topic is just so huge, I don't know where to start to even scratch the surface. So, what gives people motivation? Imagine this. Where were you 5 years ago? That is quite some time now. Did you think back then that this is where you are today? Depending on how old you were back then, you probably had bigger or smaller goals. Are your goals today still the same? Or did they change? Was it because you shifted priorities in your life and have found motivation in different things? Goals give us motivation. We can work towards something really specific. But as people change, so do their goals. When I imagine myself 5 years ago, I was 16, fresh out of school and ready to grind CSGO. I didn't know back then what it would take. I knew where I wanted to be and I had the motivation to go there. I always imagined the scenes in my head where I succeeded. Standing on the stage, lifting the trophies. This was a reminder to myself. why exactly I am even doing this. With the years going by, I started to gain interest in different things. I'm really into music and I shifted my motivation towards that. It was always a back and forth and I couldn't settle on one thing. For me, the most important thing was always that I want to do something that fulfills me. Something that I enjoy doing, which is definitely not a corporate job. This gave me motivation to grind CSGO even harder. I wanted to make it so badly. I started to focus only on CS. As I said before, as people get older, they might change their views of life and their motivation shifts to something else. I was always so sure that I want to be a professional Counter-Strike player. But one day, I wasn't sure anymore. I started asking myself, is this really what I want? Do you, fellow viewer of this video, know what you want? And can you interpret your thoughts accurately? If you really want this goal to be true, you need to consider a few things. This will be your job. It won't be a hobby anymore. You can't just play when you feel like it. You will be forced to play a lot. You will need to ask yourself if your motivation is to really make this your job. It might be that your motivation is not to be a pro in CS, but to make a living out of something you love. Maybe something else within the CS realm. There are tons and tons of other possibilities with much smaller sacrifices. When I asked myself this was kind of the turning point for me. I don't need to be a professional to enjoy my life to its fullest. I love CS and I love doing CS content. It gives me equal pleasure to just play the game. Because on top of it, I can also give my knowledge to people that don't know what they want yet. And since I don't need to force myself to play the game anymore, I can actually enjoy it again. Consider how much time you will be actually spending in this game. I love playing video games. I've literally played games for my whole life, but I never had to make any sacrifices for that. It was always a hobby that I can do when I want and where I want. If you're serious about CSGO, you will need to make this your #1 priority. If you don't know what that means, you need to prioritize this over basically everything that you otherwise enjoy doing. I always said quality over quantity, yes, and that is still true, but if you have a full-time job, you cannot do anything else other than playing CS to make up that time. If you're still in school and don't have any commitments, you obviously have to sacrifice less. I will go more in depth about the time aspect in a future video, but just to put it in perspective really quickly, imagine a timeline with 5,000 hours. That is a lot. And that is approximately my pure playtime in CSGO. This doesn't include games on other accounts, matches that I watch on Twitch, or any CS related video on YouTube, which, fair enough, is mostly for entertainment purposes. Ask yourself if this time is well spent, or if you could rather put this time in something more lasting. Also considering that your career is over with approximately 30, and then you either have something to fall back on, or you're left with the skills you learn in CS, if it is still relevant by that time. I just want you to think through this thoroughly. I know some people live in the moment and they don't even consider where they want to be in the future, and that is okay if it is what they want. But please consider asking yourself questions. Dig deep. Go really deep to find out what your goals and motivations really are. If you are sure that you have the motivation and this just so happens to be the thing that you really, really want, then you're ready to commit. If you're willing to play the game, even if you don't feel like it, and you can always find the motivation in imagining how it will be once you finally reach your goal, you are ready to commit. Just be sure. If you don't commit fully, it will not work out in the long term. You might even see it as a time waste. And if your goals and motivations start to wander after some time, that is fine. You don't need to feel ashamed or embarrassed about it. You shouldn't quit instantly when things are going wrong. But a person that never quits is almost as bad. You need to recognize when it makes sense to quit. Yes, it can feel really bad if you think that you made the wrong decision, but your decisions open up space for new opportunities in life. After all, our time on Earth to this day is, sadly, still limited. What you do with your time and your motivation to achieve really is only something that you know. Do what you think is right, but always be mindful and reflective. Stop running around in circles. You can only find out if you try. This video was a bit more serious than the others. I just wanted to deliver the message as best as I could. I would really like to know how you guys feel about this after watching the video. Please let me know in the comments. It really helps me understand my own content and how it maybe affects my viewership. It also helps me improve future videos. I'm not really good when it comes to structuring the video, especially in a topic like this, where everything is just so debatable and a matter of opinion, reflection, and past experiences. If you enjoyed this video, I would also be extremely happy if you can give me a like and subscribe to my channel. As stated at the start, it would mean the world to me if we could reach 100 subscribers by the end of May. In the next video of the series, we will talk about the time aspect of committing to a pro path. How would a typical grinding day look like for you? How much time will you exactly have to dedicate? How do you get the most out of your practice? These questions and many more will be answered there. Thank you for watching and take care.